At the center of all love I stand, and from that center I, the soul, will outward move. From that center I, the one who serves, will work. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group and throughout the world. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group and throughout I stand.
Good morning, everyone. This is Michael, and we are working on that meditation where we attract financial resources for hierarchical purposes. The Tibetan says a few things that we should remind ourselves of, such as this meditation is so simple that many of you may regard it as innocuous and perhaps futile. Used by many simultaneously, it may shatter the impasse which at present prevents adequate funds pouring into the work which the hierarchy seeks to accomplish. Then he asks us to do it every Sunday morning, but since we do have a global meditation here, it won't be possible for everyone on Sunday morning. Here it is now, Sunday morning, but for some of you it's later in the day, and for some early in the wee hours. He tells us, take what you have saved during the previous week and dedicate it to the work, and present it in meditation to the Christ and his hierarchy. Whether the sum is large or small, it can become an attractive and magnetic unit in the Master's plans. Now, we have been working with great invocation number 2 at the head, or maybe sometimes later in our normal meditations, and that is because we have an issue concerning the viability of American democracy. He warned us that the United States had fascist tendencies, and we see it working out. So we seek to support democratic tendencies and to invoke the higher beings so that they can bring their energies into the situation, and so that once again evil does not manifest itself widely through dictatorship and a lack of caring of the will of the people. In democracy, the will of the people is important. It's the hierarchical form of government. We are not yet to shambolic monarchy. We don't understand it very well because we don't understand the will truly. So, let us say together, great invocation number 2, and think about the present situations through which we are passing, where so many attempts are being made basically to steal the vote away from the will of the people. Let the lords of liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of men. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, O Mighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, O Mighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O Mighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming One. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O Mighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. Powerful indeed, and to be applied according to our best knowledge in this fraught situation where lower ego seems to come before patriotism, before true citizenship, before reflecting the divine plan, where freedom of speech, as reflected in the vote, is to be found. I'd like to read just a little bit here. There's a contrast between the 6th ray and seventh ray disciple. And it certainly tells us, page 221 in Discipleship Volume 2, that the sixth ray disciple is still needed to inspire and to uplift the idealism of the masses when it is an inclusive idealism. But maybe something different is expected of the seventh ray disciple. And we'll take a look at what that may be. Okay. Under the influence of disciples on the seventh ray of organization or of ceremonial order, that powerful physical concretization of energy, which we call money, is proving a topic of the most definite concentration. Perhaps we can look at that as related to the energy of Uranus particularly. It is being most carefully considered, and the minds of thinking financiers and of wealthy humanitarian persons and philanthropists will be gradually led forward from a strictly philanthropic activity to an activity which is impulsed and brought into expression by spiritual insight. You can already see this happening in the case of some as they seek to use their money in a wiser way for public health, public education. So they will be led forward into an expression of what we recognize as more spiritual insight, and by a recognition of the claims of the Christ, no matter by what name he may be called in the East or in the West, upon the financial reservoir of the world. That's an amazing thought, and it will enter more and more as we find that humanity cannot alone solve the very heavy problems which will descend and are descending. And then the hierarchy will be sought out in the planetary centers. We are told the initiates, the disciples in those centers, will be consulted as a source of valuable guidance. And then the claims of the Christ will be more and more realized. This, says the Tibetan, is a hard thing to bring about, for the subtle energies of the inner worlds take much time in producing their effects upon the objective, tangible plane of divine manifestation. And here it is, some 75 years at least since this was written, or about 75 years, and still we do not have the impact upon the physical plane which truly leads to sharing and to peace and to the spread of goodwill everywhere. Money is not yet used divinely, but it will be. Nevertheless, the task is well in hand and is engaging the attention of disciples upon all the rays under the guidance and impression of the powerful seventh ray ashram, now already in process of externalization. And of course, the third ray comes into effect as well, but it's the seventh ray perhaps that works things out in a most practical manner upon the physical plane. So we concentrate on giving what we can, and DK is pretty demanding in this. He says, give until it hurts. He says that. So he must understand something about the law. And that's what we will take up, the circumstances of giving. This is the place in Dina 2 where DK is offering this meditation, and also in that book, The Reappearance of the Christ Meditation, 2 meditations which he spelled out very, very clearly. Okay. And so we begin by deeply realizing the occult law that to those who give shall be given, so that they can give again. That is such a foundational principle, and it applies to all manner of giving that which is positive. Of course, it applies to financial resources, but also to the resources of the causal body and the good that is stored within us. And then we formulate clearly to ourselves, and in our own words, the answers to the following questions. If money is one of the most important things needed today for spiritual work, what is the factor which is at present deflecting it away from the work of the hierarchy? That may take us into a consideration of the 4 noble truths of the Buddha, and our attachment to the phenomenal world. Point 2, what is my personal attitude towards money? Do I regard it as a great and possible spiritual asset, or do I think of it in material terms? Point 3. What is my personal responsibility in regard to money which passes through my hands? Am I handling it as the disciple of the Masters should handle it? There is one of the physical heads of the Hydra, that great enemy of the Angel of the Presence, and it's the head where we deal with the misuse of money. It's a gigantic glamour based on materialism and on desiring that which is unreal and passes away. Does this head of the Hydra have any power over us? It takes a certain fearlessness, doesn't it, to confront the tendencies of this Hydra head. How can we overcome its power? When true spiritual values replace materialistic values, we will be well on our way to overcoming any instance of this gigantic glamour in our own lives. So we ponder then upon the redemption of humanity through the right use of money. It's so different than how so many of us have been taught to regard money, with all the fears around it, and placing its acquisition in the highest as a highest objective. So we think of money as concretized energy, at present largely used for purely material purposes, and for the satisfaction, where the individual is concerned, of purely personal desires. Maybe we will discover that we are more attached to the fulfilling of our desires than to having the presence of real love in our lives. But we can also visualize money as a great stream of flowing golden substance passing out of the control of the forces of materialism and into the control of the forces of light. We can redirect the entire stream of this flowing golden substance, this power that can bring into manifestation that which is truly needed. And then we say the following invocative prayer with focused mental concentration and from a heartfelt desire to meet spiritual demands. O Thou, in whom we live and move and have our being, the power that can make all things new, turn to spiritual purposes the money in the world. Touch the hearts of men everywhere, so that they may give to the work of the hierarchy that which has hitherto been given to material satisfaction. The new group of world servers needs money in large quantities. I ask that the needed vast sums be made available. May this potent energy of thine be in the hands of the forces of light. And then we visualize the work to be done by those groups which claim our present allegiance. Any group which we may know of is attempting to carry out the hierarchical plan. And through the creative imagination and by an act of the will, we see untold and unlimited sums of money pouring into the hands of those who seek to do the Master's work. There are so many causes for good now existing. It's a very good sign. And as the old ways prove untenable, these new initiatives will take on greater power. And then we say aloud and with conviction and with emphasis, He for whom the whole world waits has said that whatsoever shall be asked in His name, and with faith in the response, will see it accomplished. And we must remember at the same time that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Now, we ask for the needed money, for those groups or projects which attract us and which we realize are trying to carry out the hierarchical plan, no matter along which ashramic line those efforts may occur. And so we say to ourselves, I ask the needed money for, and we fill that in. And I can demand it because from the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. And And in our creative imagination, we prepare to give our offering to the Christ and to his hierarchy. We are as if gathered at the feet of the Lord, Maitreya, the avatar of love. And sensing and knowing the great reality that he is, we offer him what we have saved or designated for spiritual purposes in his name. And we say, "We have gathered in your name, Lord Maitreya. Be with us." And we know that if we are with him, he will be with us wherever two or more are gathered in his name. He is the spirit of loving relationship. So we make this very real to ourselves. The great Lord is here. He is the abiding influence toward the good, the beautiful, and the true. And we are in cooperation with him as we attempt to feel true love sweeping through us and realize that as much as we can do this, we are blending our little will with the large purpose of the will of Sanat Kumara working out through the Christ, the head of the hierarchy. And we plan, realistically realizing that if we do not share, we cannot ask, because no one has the right to evoke that which he or she does not share. And so persistently and over a long period of time, as the decades elapse and as preparation is made for the reappearance of the Christ, we offer our support in all ways, including the financial sustainment, which is so needed and which, in many ways, the Tibetan tells us, is the crux of the whole problem. And as we persist, we will achieve. We close with a piece from the Reappearance of the Christ, the Return of the Christ oratorio, telling us how the Christ blesses the world at the evening hour beneath his great pine tree in his garden. And we can return the blessing by helping his work go forward.